Hello, for your feminine. I am so excited to chat with you tonight about the truth about online dating. So I'm curious, which camp do you fall into? Do you love online dating or do you hate online dating? Or maybe you're somewhere in the middle, but most everyone in the world at this point has tried online dating at some time in their life, unless you're just getting out of a really long-term relationship like a 15, 20-year relationship, which happens too. So I'm curious, what are your thoughts on online dating? What's your favorite part of it? What's your least favorite part of it? Where do you feel like you get kind of stuck up against a wall or up against your old pattern? And I'm going to be revealing some of the truths about online dating that might actually surprise you, just given how popular it is. So how many people are on the apps? Just take a guess. It's almost 50 million people, 49 million people, and it's a $1.9 billion industry. It's a huge, huge industry. All those apps that are free, well, they're still making money off paid advertising, off of premium subscriptions, off of buying bagels or points or swipes or whatever it is. And there's plenty of them that actually have very high-end subscriptions, you know, $500 a month to $2,000, $3,000 a month. So there's a huge range of apps. And despite the apps becoming more and more popular, they haven't exactly cracked the code on how to get into a great relationship. So yeah, Elizabeth says that's huge. It is huge. It's amazing how many people are online. 50 million people. That's like all the biggest cities in the United States combined, it seems like. So tons of people are online, but only 20% of relationships actually start online. So most relationships, the overwhelming majority of relationships, begin in real life. That means meeting someone that's not online. You might run into them at a grocery store, at a bar, at a meetup event, at a coffee shop, at church, at a parent-teacher association meeting, at a networking event, at your work. I mean, there's a million places that we can meet people. So believe it or not, that's actually still the number one way that people get into relationship is 80% of relationships start in real life and not online. So if you are spending all your time online, not a problem, but you've got to know how to do it effectively. You have to know how to do it efficiently and in a way that really gets you what you want. So I think of online dating as a tool, just like fire is a tool or a technology. When we developed fire, Neanderthals or whoever came up with fire, it was a tool that could be used to warm food, to, provide light, to provide heat, or it could be totally destructive. I mean, there have been massive fires in California, which is totally heartbreaking. So just like any technology, it can be used for good and it can be used for evil. Fire is an example, weaponry is an example, online dating is an example. You can use online dating to spread love, to be a woman of love, to be a queen of love, to meet fascinating people and have great experiences and find your partner. Or you can use online dating to reinforce the story that you're broken or not lovable or unworthy. Or use online dating to prove a belief that men suck and that they only want sex. Whatever we have in our mindset about men, about dating, about love, about the world, it is going to show itself in online dating because guess what? Online dating uses algorithms. So Facebook uses an algorithm, whatever you're clicking on, whatever you're pausing on, whatever you're reading more of, whatever you're following, it's going to give you more of that. So if you're pausing on articles that say men are assholes, you're going to be seeing a lot of articles that say men are assholes. Same with online dating. If you tend to be swiping on the people that maybe are bad boys, or not that they say on their profile they're cheaters, but I do believe energetically, like we're sending something out and we're also receiving something and we're replicating old patterns. So if you're not getting what you want when it comes to online dating, it's just a technology. Change the algorithm by changing your behavior. Change your behavior by changing your mindset. So the truth of online dating is you can totally meet an amazing man on online dating. About half of my clients meet their partner through online. And at first I was kind of shocked by that because I'm pretty old-fashioned and most people, like I was saying earlier, 80% of relationships start in person and not online. So according to the numbers, they have better luck of meeting someone in person. But I have a lot of clients who are super busy, they travel all the time, they're single moms, or they just feel a little bit shy about going to a meetup event or going to meet someone in real life. Or maybe they're doing all of those things, but they still want to be online too because they want to be out there everywhere that they can. So about half of my clients meet their partner online, which is pretty cool, but they do it in a different way, starting from the inside out with the right energy, the right beliefs, the right mindset, and they recognize that, hey, if I'm a woman of love and if I'm open to receiving love, the universe doesn't care where it comes from. The universe doesn't care if I meet my person online or at a coffee shop. Like, it wants the two of us to meet. But I have to be open. I have to have the right beliefs and the right mindset and the right skill set so that when I do meet someone amazing, I don't put my foot in my mouth, although that can be funny too. We've all been there. Or I don't, accidentally self-sabotage things by pushing someone away or closing down to love. And we oftentimes think that men are the one who have commitment issues, like, he doesn't want to commit, what's his problem, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of times we're deeply scared of commitment because maybe in the past someone we were committed to wasn't that great with us. And even though on the outside we say like, oh, I really want a boyfriend, or I can't wait to get married, if we haven't done our deeper healing work, we might actually be pushing away the right sort of people because we're terrified of being abandoned or rejected. And if you've been there or if you still feel that way, I totally get it. That is a normal fear given everything that women have endured in society. Not cool. But it's our responsibility to do our healing work. I'm not saying that men and other parts of society don't also have responsibility, but guess what? You get to design the life that you want. You get to live the life that you want. And this idea that like, well, love will just show up on your doorstep, or, it's gonna be a fairy tale thing. It's just not true. Just like anything in life, if we want something, we get better at it. I know a woman who's lost over 100 pounds this year. 100 pounds in 1 year. That's freaking fantastic. And if someone said like, was it easy? I'm sure she would say, no, it wasn't easy. I had to make commitments. I had to make sacrifices. I had to say yes to myself. I had to do things when I didn't always want to do them. I had to keep going in the face of adversity, and I had to believe in myself. And so I'm celebrating her journey, but I'm celebrating everyone's journey whenever you've made a commitment to something that seemed unattainable. So maybe right now you're just off the heels of a nasty divorce, or maybe you've been single for 8 years, or maybe you've been prioritizing your career so much that you don't even really know how to be in your feminine and how to date a great guy who's in his masculine. So no matter what stage you're in, or maybe you've had some trauma, or some sexual trauma or other trauma in your background, and you might think, how the heck am I ever going to create a great relationship? My parents didn't have a great relationship, or, no one in my life really has a great relationship. Like, what am I going to do? Well, it starts by believing that it's possible and then learning how to bring that into your life from the inside out, like I talked about, but also from the outside in, having the right skills and the right strategy. So I'm going on a little bit of a tangent, but the point is that when you believe in yourself, the technologies, the skills, the tools, the right relationships, they show up for you because you're showing up for yourself and you're saying yes to yourself. So online dating, I've changed my tune on a little bit in that I've seen people get great results with online dating, but they did it in a very specific way. They were very selective. They knew what they wanted. At the same time, they really were open to having fun. It's not very fun to be dating if you're like, I'm looking for my partner and like robotic. It's much more fun if you're appreciating men, the people that you're meeting, going on these dates, having these amazing experiences, and you're not so single focused on, getting the ring that you miss out on the beautiful connections that are happening right now. Because most people don't want to be manipulated or controlled. If you're just looking for a guy to get his semen to have a baby, then he might not feel like that loved and that appreciated by you. Or maybe he's just really down to have a kid right now too. But for the most part, people want to feel like they're engaged with. They want to feel like you care about them. They want to feel like they're enough. And we lose sight of that when we get so focused on like, it must be my husband, I must find my husband. So you have to stay committed, and you also have to stay open to having fun in the process and having the right skill set to move through your old healing, your old trauma, and move towards what you really want. So most of the time, it's not about a woman not being enough. You are more than enough, let me tell you. You are awesome. If you're watching this video, I know that you're cool. You're in this group for a reason. We've approved you to be in this group. It's all women. It's full of badasses. But maybe you just haven't learned the skills and the tools that you need, and maybe you have some things that are in your way. There's a Rumi quote that says, like, our job is to not find love, but something like not to find love, but to remove the barriers that are keeping us from love. And I totally agree with that. Most of the time, it's just weeding out that garden, those old stories that say, I'm broken, or I'm lovable, or no one would want to commit to me, or I'm not pretty enough, or I'm not thin enough, or I don't live in the right state, or I don't have the right job. Like, whatever it is, we can make up a million excuses to not say yes to love. We can make up a million excuses to not say yes to ourselves. And that's okay if that's the sort of life that you want to have. But I believe that we're destined for so much more. I believe that we can have amazing, lasting love and partnerships, that we can speak our truth, and that we can be just as committed to ourselves as we are to our partner. So if you feel like you're stuck in a relationship that's not serving you, I'm not saying that you need to leave, but you need to be really clear on what you're looking for and what you need from your partner, and communicate that and invite him to step up. People like to be invited into the next level of expansion. but too often we're afraid to really speak what we want and speak what we need, and that also comes into play in online dating. We might be afraid to put on our profile what we're looking for. We might be afraid to say, well, I really want a man who's chivalrous, who likes to open the door for me. I think that's really sexy. But what I find is the more specific you are, the better. If you are just saying like, oh, I just want someone who's a good person, like that is not a very clear signal about what you want. And so it's really important, if you are going to use the technology and the tool of online dating to get what you want and need, you have the right beliefs, you've removed some of the trauma and some of the other things that might be preventing you from seeing things clearly, including red flags or attracting the right person, and that you're also very specific with what you want on your profile, but also just in general, without losing the fun, the femininity, or the pleasure. So the truth of online dating is that you can absolutely use it to have a great relationship, but it has to be used in a specific way, just like any other technology. It can be used for good or it can be used for evil. And so I want to empower you to have an experience with online dating that really serves and supports your vision, your goal, and your identity. I talk about identity all the time because I really believe that every woman is a queen. You know, my course is called Queens of Pleasure because you were designed as a woman to experience pleasure. Yes, sensual pleasure, but emotional pleasure, spiritual pleasure, connection, relational-based pleasure. Like, we are wired as women to feel good. But why the heck do so many of us walk around then not feeling good? Well, there's a million reasons why, but all you need to do is say yes to yourself, yes to your pleasure, and yes to becoming this queen that you want to be in your life. Maybe you're becoming a queen of love, a queen of pleasure, a queen of healing. Those are all themes that I work with my clients. So stepping into that greater identity, because guess what? That's going to carry you through this year and into next year. So it's really exciting right now to be thinking about, instead of course, all the holiday stuff, but also be thinking about, you know, how do I want to show up for myself in the last 4 weeks of the year? It's crazy, like 4.5 weeks or however much we have long. You know, how do I want to show up? Who's the sort of person that I want to embody? Who do I want to connect with? How do I want to live my life? And how do I want to build momentum going into next year? It is hella easier to have a great January when you've already been planting the seeds in December. So not that you need to be anxious or frenetic, but just start to think about, like, what is the type of woman that I'm becoming? What's the sort of relationship that I want? How can I use online dating or other strategies to get me what I want and need? And how can I get the support that I need to build the right skills, to release my trauma, to set healthy beliefs, and to be supported by a group of other powerful women? And I think we're totally done with this lone wolf thing, or like, I can do it alone, I'm a Wonder Woman. Well, every Wonder Woman that I've ever met has about 25 Wonder Women by her side, and maybe a small inner group or inner circle of like 5 to 10 really powerful goddesses who totally have her back. So I don't want you to feel like you have to do online dating or any of life alone, which is why we have tribe here and community here, and then of course, you know, in my programs. So if you want to figure out how online dating can work for you, if you want to figure out how to release the barriers that are in you that are preventing you from finding love, and if you want to find out about how to step into a powerful identity as the queen that I know you are, then I would love to talk. You can book a time with our team at violetlang.com/talk. I'll put the link in the comments. And we also have what I'm calling the baby course. It's a mini course. It's a 3-hour workshop that I'm doing for helping you to create your winning online dating profile. Now, this is just a small piece of my Queens of Pleasure program, but I am offering it next Tuesday, and I'll put the link in there as well. I'm offering it next Tuesday as a chance for you to get crystal clear on how to use online dating. And if you do decide to do that program and you decide to join the course, you can apply the cost of that to the cost of Queens of Pleasure. So it's been amazing to chat with you. If you're going to use online dating, use it in a way that's smart and effective and works for you, and safe, of course. I didn't mention that, but always being safe. And have a great rest of your night, and I will see you ladies next week. Mwah. Bye.